Welcome, everyone, to the Brickyard. It is one of the most hallowed grounds in all of motorsports. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway plays host once again to the HTL Cup Series for the 7th time. And once again, it is in the playoffs here in the round of 16. 2 races left in this round of 16. Following next week's race at Kansas, we'll be down to 8, contending for the championship all the way to March 2nd in California. The clock is ticking. Some drivers already safe. Josh Susie, Tucker Sawyer. A lot of drivers still fighting their way through with these 2 races to go in the round of 16. We're glad you're with us here on ABN for HTL Cup Series coverage. Hope everyone's staying warm. Massive snowstorm. Snow, ice, sleet, all the elements at play over the weekend. But we hope you're staying warm and staying safe in the process. Over 30 cars present for tonight's Crown Jewel event. So let's go ahead and dive into what the points look like going into tonight's event here at the Brickyard 400. Entering Indianapolis, 2 drivers locked in to the next round, provided they start both tonight and next week at Kansas. Josh Susie and Tucker Sawyer traded wins at Watkins Glen and Talladega last week, Stephen Overstat winning at Darlington, played spoiler, prevented one of those playoff drivers from being able to win a race. 6 drivers still looking to punch their ticket in tonight. Pacey Wygett, Zach Meredith, Brent Roberts, Mark Kissenweather, Blake Henderson, Eli Sasek. They are currently on the positive side of this round of 8 line. They're marked in the cyan, the light blue. Chad Swathworth, Elias Flores, Patrick Oberstadt, Hunter Peach. They're on the wrong side, looking on the outside, looking in. The margin between Sasek and Swathworth, 2 points. Very slim margins there. Elias Flores a further point behind. The gap opens up a little bit when you look back to Patrick Oberstadt, who has not performed so well in the playoffs to this point. But as we saw late last year, the November, early December, 88 team can definitely turn on that switch and perform and grab a race win. Could be a threat to do so. I'm going to hedge my bet that Patrick Oberstadt's best chance is probably going to be Kansas next week, but a good result here at Indianapolis would help him out a lot as well. Same with Hunter Peach. They're in the same boat right now. They are not out of reach just yet. Having a bad race at Talladega a week ago does not help them, and they will need to start digging themselves out pretty quickly here tonight. Stage points on offer in both Stage 1 and Stage 2. Great place to start being able to dig yourself out of those holes is with those stage points. Josh Arnold, same boat for him. Obviously, Hunter Peach, Patrick Overstat, Josh Arnold within the same little points bracket there. Zach Apperson not far away either. Billy Thompson beginning to stretch out a little bit far away. The only driver that is in must-win territory at the moment is Cody Pennell, who has had very bad races all throughout the playoffs here at this point. He is in must-win territory as it stands. Only driver to do so at this point. Everyone else with a decent shot to still have a chance going into Kansas. And as I mentioned before, a race win for one of those playoff drivers alleviates all of those problems before we even get to the Great Plains State, the breadbasket of the U.S. Then you have some of the drivers best of the rest here. Lily Sharp's made a pretty decent jump here over the last couple weeks, up to 17 points ahead of Davis Mills Jr. Teammates there worked together really well at Talladega. We'll see how they perform here tonight. Both of them are strong here at the Brickyard historically. We'll see if that pays true here for the first time in an open setup race at the Brickyard. Byron Jones also stepping up here a little bit. Stephen Oberstadt was not at Talladega a week ago. His car is being filled in for by Dale Markowski. So he is dropped down the 20th place here. Caitlin Height, Ollie Flowers, Brady Smith. Part-time drivers that have moved their way up into the top 24 with the few races remaining in the season. 5 races to go in total here tonight. But that is the situation as things sit right now. And again, we're glad you're with us here for ABN's coverage of the HTL Cup Series. We're going all season long. Bottom of your screen, the races left to go after tonight. Blink Designs 400 at Kansas next Monday, kicking off the month of February. We go to Chicagoland after that, keeping it close to the vest in the Midwest. Off the day after the Super Bowl. Keep that in mind, February 16th. Not going to have any hangovers there. February 23rd, we head from Chicago down to Florida for a race at Homestead, Miami, and then cross-country to race March 2nd at HTL Speedway, California, Fontana, to end off the season. Pretty good races lined up here, all drivers' tracks. Right in the wheels, not only for the HTL Cup Series, but for this 7th generation race car as well. Some absolute classics in hand here. This race last season, an absolute classic as well. Josh Arnold won last season. We'll see if he can go back-to-back at the Brickyard. Going to be a pretty high mountain to try to climb here. Warm-up is finished. Everyone has had their last chance to dial things in. So let's go ahead and jump into the starting grid here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400. Josh Susi and Zach Meredith, a couple of chase drivers, playoff drivers, lead the way. They are first and second on the grid. Row 2, another pair of playoff drivers, Pacey Wygant, Bren Roberts, start third and fourth. Willie Sharp, the first non-playoff driver, starting fifth alongside Shad Swatsworth. Willie Sharp, twice now, has almost been the spoiler at the Brickyard, is the third time the charm for the 19 crew. We'll find out. Byron Jones, Caitlin Height, non-playoff drivers in row 4, mixing it up here. Caitlin Height in the 61 for Valfreya. Byron Jones in the 60 for Coast to Coast. Patrick Overstat, we talked about him needing a good result here. He's got a good qualifying effort. He starts ninth alongside Eli Sasek. Sasek, his teammate, won a week ago at Talladega. Can he win at the Brickyard? We'll find out. Willie Frazier for Outlaw Esports sits in row 6 alongside last week's race winner Tucker Sawyer. Bailey Thompson in need of a little bit of assistance. Can the 27 car find victory lane again? Stephen Overstat alongside, also looking for a second trip to victory lane this season. They share row 7. Hunter Beach and Dale Markowski sit in row number 8. Markowski filled in for Stephen Overstat, his teammate, a week ago. Now back at his traditional number 33. Hunter Beach in that number 20, needing a lot of help. He has been on the back foot all season long. A win would put him on level footing for the first time in Season 7. Josh Arnold, he won here a season ago. He starts 17th, trying to do so again alongside Richard Odie III. Davis Miller Jr., Alfred Denny, round out your top 20. Holly Flowers, Christina Ryan, they sit in row number 11. Christina Ryan in the 22 car, a little bit of a switch up there. Gary Donaldson's in the 28, further back in the running order. Flowers back in his 91 car. Will try to race his way through the field from 21st. Brady Smith and Angel Santiago in row number 12, 23rd and 24th on the grid. Jason Scott and Mark Kissenweather in row 13. Another bad qualifying performance for the number 2 machine, who is needing to pick up the pace here before being put on the back foot getting into Kansas. Right now, odds are still in his hands, but he needs to put things together pretty quickly in that process. Zach Apperson, Olivia Pereira, not where they wanted to be. Apperson especially trying to make it into the top 8. Will have to do a lot of work from 27th on the grid. Gary Donaldson, we mentioned him. He's in the 28 car. Alongside James Wright filling in the 23 car. Blake Henderson and John Matthews at the back of the field. Henderson just got into the top 8 in points, but will now be on the final row of the field. That's not going to be a pleasant place to be for the number 25 car. As we get ready to go racing here, we got one lap before we go racing. We do have an in-race report, and it's none other than a former ABN World Champion So we're going to have in-race reporting from time to time here with a lap to go before we go racing. Christina Ryan, how are we feeling going into this race? This is what you were signing up for all the way back last year. Now we're here. How's the car feeling? Obviously, a lot of work here. You're very familiar with this racetrack. Obviously, we'll tap in with you once we come across cautions here, but good luck tonight, and we'll keep an eye on the 22 car. Plan on it. I was Christina Ryan, in-race reporter tonight here from the Brickyard. She signed up with this race in mind as a super sub, and she's going to get her wish here at the Brickyard. She starts in row 10. A lot of work to do. Qualified 22nd, moved up due to Steven Oberstadt making a pit lane start selection here. I believe a technical issue for the 3 car. So she will move up a row, up into row 10. She'll start this race effectively 20th. And it's going to be a lot of pressure throughout the field. The pace car takes the left-hand turn onto pit lane. It's a long wait down this straightaway. But the green flag flies and away we go. The HTL Brickyard 400 is underway. A lot of fanning out there through turns 1 and 2. Everyone trying to give each other a little bit of space here. No stage breaks are planned. There are 2 stages in this race. As Josh Susi takes control of the race lead early on here, side by side. Further back, this is for 4th. Bren Robertson, Lily Sharp going toe-to-toe, door-to-door. But there is already a big separation here and a little bit of trouble further back. That was Chet Swatsworth who got really loose. Josh Arnold making his way around Hunter Peach, trying to surge forward. His teammate falls back. Car in the fence, Sawyer. The walls here in Indianapolis come up quick. Doesn't matter if you're in a Champ Car machine or an HTL stock car. If you're offline, you got to take it extra careful. Tucker Sawyer knows that very well, but still bit the wall a little bit here on lap 2. Swatsworth got loose off of turn 4 just a lap ago. Second go around, he enters 19th place. Sitting there behind Richard Odie in that 78 car. 13 spots lost. Biggest loser by far through the opening 2 laps. Front of the field in that bluey, number 24, is Josh Susi. Zach Meredith sitting in the 2nd spot. Pacey Wygant in 3rd. Very high quality drivers at the front of the field at the moment. Bren Roberts has held off Lily Sharp, who has also been under threat here from Byron Jones. Byron Jones, teammates there with Zach Meredith for Coast to Coast Racing. Has not had a season to remember, but those results have begun to pick up a little bit as we've gotten to the later stage of the season. Sitting right now, shadowing Lily Sharp and sitting just ahead of Eli Sasek there in 7th. Patrick Oberstadt sitting comfortably at the moment in 8th. Ahead of Tucker Sawyer. Sawyer under threat from Caitlin Height. Height in that silver nose 61 car, sitting in the top 10. Then it's Lily Frazier in the 71, sitting in 11th. Josh Arnold in 12th for car 12. Haley Thompson, where she started, 13th. back. See this battle here. This is Swatsworth and Blowers duking it out here right now for 17th place. Swatsworth had it for a moment. Blowers taking it back here. Got to really think out your moves here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Brickyard is unforgiving. We go from a track of luck to a track of fate. From Talladega to Indianapolis. A little bit of moving and shaking going on here. Kalen Height looking to the inside of Patrick Oberstadt. Trying to pick up another spot here. This is for 9th. Oberstadt lost a spot earlier to Tucker Sawyer. And Oberstadt being elbowed out of the top 10, it looks like. Really Frazier trying to capitalize on this battle as well. Side by side, they go down the front straightaway. And Josh Arnold wants to get his elbows dirty as well. Trying to mix it up and get to the top 10. Stage points, again, are critical for several drivers here. We talked about in the pre-race. If you're not in the top 8 and you want to be, stage points are the first way to do so. Talk about stage points. Those come on lap 25 and lap 50. Pretty easy to keep track of. First quarter, second quarter of this race. And again, no planned stage breaks. We race through them. So that bubble for the top 10 is going to be a very interesting little facet to focus on across the first half of this race, across both stages. "32 cars, all of them on the lead lap, all of them on the racetrack. Steven Oberstadt not far away from the rest of the field. The number 3 car starting from pit lane. Because of how spread out everyone has gotten in front of him, he can see the tail end of the lead lap field right in front of him. This is on board with Oberstadt, looking at Santiago just up the road. Santiago, then James Wright and Gary Donaldson. The next targets for him. He can definitely catch up to him. He's got the pace to do so here. Obviously, the question is, how long can he stay on the lead lap, or is there going to be a caution that will eventually bring the field all together? Driver on the move at the moment. Started this race in dead last, Blake Henderson. In that Kelly Blue Book, number 25, right behind his teammate, Christina Ryan. Heard from her in the pre-race as well. He is on her bumper at the moment. They are both behind Brady Smith. Henderson up to 22nd from 31st on the grid. Up 9 spots, the biggest gainer so far through the first 8 laps as things currently stand. Battle for third, battle for second actually kicking up a little bit here. That's Roberts. He's gotten around and put Pacey Wygant down. They're really now down to 5th here. Wygant behind Lily Sharp. So he has struggled here in the early going despite starting on the front row, or starting in 3rd, excuse me. But Roberts has turned up the temperature at the front of the field a little bit, keeping both Meredith and Josh Susie honest. Really Sharp in the top 5 as we expected. She's pretty good in the HTL Cup Series races here at the Brickyard. Notoriously an inverse. We talk about open wheel versus stock car races. Typically, success at one track typically sort of correlates. And it does for Lily Sharp in a way. For short ovals, Lily Sharp's really good in both Champ Car, where she's won 2 races, and in stock cars, where we've seen her win in trucks and Xfinity cars, and so on and so forth. Not really translates here. Lily Sharp in Champ Car, notoriously abysmal results. But here, she's a gold standard. She's a standard bearer. Oftentimes, she is in that top 5 conversation, and that's where she's at from the get-go here. She is qualified 5th, already up to 4th, and trying to chase down Brent Roberts here. Has space to do so as well. Wygent, I really, just by struggling and floundering a little bit early on, is giving Sharp that real estate to really just chase after Roberts and Meredith and Susie without being under threat and having to look at the mirror. Here comes Byron Jones, who wants to sniff for the top 5. And it looks like Wygent's not going to be able to fight him too awful hard here. Clear to turn 1. Byron Jones, the top 5 again, but gets loose, overdrove it a little bit. And that'll check up both Wygent and Sawyer. And now Sharp really is alone on an island between the groups of 3. Sasek and Caitlin Height battling door to door. No love lost between these two. Storied rivalry, years in the making. And Sasek has to give up that spot. Caitlin Height up to 8th, back where she qualified after losing a couple spots early. Oberstad has stopped the bleeding as well for the moment. Sitting in 10th, Lily Frazier not far behind. You see the 71 car lurking. But there's time to move if you're Lily Frazier. You're more concerned about Josh Arnold, the 12 car behind, who needs stage points just as badly as Oberstad does. Hunter Peach in 13th. Also, as we mentioned, those 3 cars are all in that same pocket of real estate, about 20 points off the cut line, that need all the points they can get. So far, not getting it. Side by side, this battle between Sawyer and Wygent. This is for the 6th spot, and Sawyer will move forward. Sawyer already locked into the championship 8 as long as he starts at Kansas next week. Casey Wygent, not so much. Still needs a little bit of real estate in the points to try to make himself safe. A win would do so. Sitting top 10, it's still pretty favorable. But you do start drawing concerns, especially with how much he struggled early on in this race. You either hope that he's got a really long run car, or you start throwing the kitchen sink at it on that first pit stop. Again, we'll see if we can check it with our in-race reporter, with Christina Ryan. Not right now, but when we get to a caution period, see how she adjusts that car to get it more to her liking here. Everyone's going to have to tinker with these cars a little bit to make things happen. This is a engineer's dream, this racetrack. This track feels so asymmetrical so often because of the wind difference. A tailwind in the turn 3 or a tailwind in turn 1 makes it feel so much different than the other side of the racetrack when you got a headwind. So much air dependency here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and you gotta be able to adjust on the fly. These drivers, these teams, all working together, working in sync, trying to figure out what they need out of their cars and what direction they need to send these cars out. Do you make adjustments to the tire pressure? Do you make adjustments to the track bar? How much do you do? Are you loose? Are you tight? How's it feel in traffic? How's it feel in clean air? Right now, the driver's brains are an open notepad. And you're trying to gather as many notes as you can. And watching Casey Wygent slip back a little bit further, now in the grasp of Caitlin Height in the 61 car there. She is pulled away from Sasek. Feeling pretty comfy at the moment. She started this race in the 8th spot. Quickly gained a position there over Wygent to move up one from where she started. And caution's out. Caution is out, and it looks like between Apperson and Matthews. So there's our first caution of the day on lap 16. It is between Zach Apperson and John Matthews. The 81 and the 4 will bring the field together for the first time since the start. And this will be everyone's first chance to make adjustments to their race cars here in stage number 1. So let's take a look here. This is from the air, AB in slow motion, quarter speed. Looks like Matthews is trying to side draft the 4 Apperson here and just straight up hooks him. Let's see if we get an onboard of John Matthews there. Looks like Matthews eats the worst of it, hitting the concrete wall to the inside there. But very unfamiliar there. Running on board John Matthews here. Let's see if we can back it up just a little bit. He bites a little bit. Apperson avoids most of the damage, if not all. I feel like he's trying to side draft, but I don't know if anyone moves there, if it's maybe latency that draws it. I'm not entirely sure. See if there's another angle maybe. This is going to be the best angle we have. This is chopper cam. If there's any movement between the two of them, it's very minor. I couldn't tell who moved. That is wild. But Matthews does eat the worst of it. If there's any damage for Apperson, it's going to be in the very back bumper of the car. It looks like both of them getting away with that. Looks like some damage repairs going on for Matthews now, ongoing. As Apperson gets rolling again. And this does give us a chance to talk to our in-race reporter for the first time in the race, up to 18th place in the running. Know that we had audio issues first time we tried to talk to her. Let's see if we can get a hold of her in the race for the first time. Christina Ryan, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. Got a copy?
Hi, I gotcha.
Alrighty, first chance to adjust the car a little bit. Took your time there in that first little stanza. How's the car feeling, and what adjustments did you make?
Yeah, we made a couple adjustments. I'm not going to quite tell you which ones they were for the sake of the competition, but yeah, definitely made some adjustments to try to make the car run a little better in traffic. The stanza is okay. The car feels okay. It's just kind of hard to overtake. The slipstream's not really doing a whole lot, so I think strategy is going to play a bigger role than. Well, it always plays a big role here, but an even bigger role than normal. But besides that, I mean, the car feels fine. No issues on the home front. Just kind of taking care of our stuff and seeing for an opportunity.
Obviously, you talk about the car being a little bit more difficult. You talk about the slipstream, being able to sort of slingshot pass like we do in the ABN Champ Car World Series. Not quite effective here. The car, is it tight? Is it loose? We've seen a little bit of everything across the board from drivers throughout the field.
Well, it's a driver's racetrack, right, Carmen? It's going to kind of do whatever you don't want it to do. It feels like I've had all conditions so far. I've been tight, I've been snug, and I've been loose. So it just kind of depends on how you attack the corner. It's the nice thing about this track is there's a lot of different things you can do to try and remedy it, but I figure I take the wrench to it while we had the opportunity and see if I can make it just a little better overall, a little more consistent. But I haven't really pushed too terribly hard, but there's definitely pace in it. I think clean air is just the most important thing right now, and that's what we don't have a whole lot of back here in the mid-teens and 20s. So.
Well, we'll let you focus on strategizing and getting yourself further forward. You gain 4 spots on that pit stop under this caution, so good luck, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Cheers.
That was Christina Ryan in car there, saying a little bit of everything, a little bit of the kitchen sink in the first stanza here before the caution. Appreciate her taking the time to speak with us here before we go back racing. She restarts in 18th position. Josh Susie, your points leader, your pole sitter, your race leader, will lead us to the green alongside Brent Roberts, Lily Sharp, Zach Meredith in row 2. Pacey Wise and Tucker Sawyer, row 3. Pace car is in. All 32 cars on the racetrack together here as they reach the restart zone. The green flag flies and away we go. Heard from Christina in that 22 camp. Slipstream not as strong as we've seen in seasons past, which puts a lot more emphasis on the planning, on the strategy. She said it herself. The strategy, you need to think about it. You need to think ahead a lot more right now. And that is going to be the case here. Restarts your biggest chance to make up some positions. After that, it's on you. Lily Sharp, 19 car, right there behind her teammate. NFG Motorsports first and second right now. Josh Susie, and most importantly, has a little bit of a buffer between himself and Zach Meredith now, a physical buffer in the form of Lily Sharp. But Lily Sharp will be thinking about the race win. Would love to win at the Brickyard. Josh Susie already locked into the Championship 8. Lily Sharp not in the playoffs at all. This is a throwaway race for both of them. You don't, if you're Josh Susie, you don't get playoff bonus points winning this race. Everyone starts the round of 8 on the same points level. So how much do you want to fight if your teammate's there first and second? Zach Meredith wants to fight, and he's going to have a good run into turn 1. And Sharp's going to keep the door as tightly shut as possible. A little bit of contact, quarter panel of the bumper, as Meredith tries to force his way through. Both of them traveled up the racetrack there on a turn 2, but kept it off the wall. Here comes Brendan Roberts. A race is broken out at the end of stage 1. Remember, stage 1 ends at lap 25 unless a caution interrupts it. There's no planned stage break, but if a caution comes out between now and lap 25, that would be the end of the stage. A little bit of the dragon, the slipstream break, so famous over in Champ Car, making its appearance here again. Because Susie knows that Meredith's got pace in that 17 car. Here comes the 19 of Sharp once again, but way too hot through turn 2. Couldn't make it stick and gives up the opportunity. And Stowe still battling door to door. And a little bit of contact in that measurement between Sharp and Roberts, who have had run-ins before, not in HTL, But over in the HTL Cup Series, they have had run-ins before. A little bit of a run-in there. No harm, no foul. No one's turned. But elbows definitely came out between Sharp and Roberts. Wygant watching in tow. Sawyer just behind as well. Arnold in the top 10 at the moment, trying to hold on to it. So is Mark Kissenweather up in 9th now. He has made his way into the top 10 quietly but effectively. And Patrick Oberstadt once again on the doorstep as the gatekeeper of the top 10. And you see the slipstream break. And caution's out, and that'll end the stage. It's for James Wright, who is in turn 22. So the stage ends early for James Wright, who drops down to 30th place. John Matthews will be the free pass recipient. And your top 10 is locked in for those stage points in stage 1. Susie, Meredith, Roberts, Sharp, Wygant, Sasek, Sawyer, Arnold, Kissenweather, Oberstadt in your top 10. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened to James Wright here. And he just gets loose at it. That's turn 1. Gets loose. Does he hit the wall? This AB in slow motion. Looks like he pedals it trying to avoid the wall. You hit the inside wall, you're kind of done. Drifts it up the racetrack here a little bit. Does he hit the outside wall or does he make it? A little bit of contact there. Easily fixable damage there if there is any. But because there was oncoming traffic, caution does have to come out. And that'll end the stage early for James Wright and Company. So stage 1 comes to an end just a little early. Josh Susie, your pole sitter, grabs the stage 1 victory over Zach Meredith. Much needed stage points for Josh Arnold, Mark Kissenweather, and Patrick Oberstadt in that process. As the field determines pit stops here. Decent amount stay out. Some come in. Teammates first and second once again. Josh Susie, Lily Sharp, Caitlin Height, and Byron Jones at the front of the field here. Looking a little bit like a 60-40 split, those that came in versus those that stayed out. As we mentioned, John Matthews will be the free pass recipient. 81 car going around the outside lane. Remember, he had to take damage repair for that first caution between himself and Zach Apperson. He has recovered now officially from that to get back on the lead lap in that process. While we're under caution here, you see the city of Indianapolis in the background here from good old Speedway, Indiana. We're going to step aside for a quick 30-second break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Massive is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here in Speedway, Indiana, a suburb of Indianapolis itself, but it is absolutely magisterial in its size and its scope and its importance here in the world of motorsports. Your top 5, bottom of your screen after 25 laps, coming to complete lap 26 under caution here. Josh Soucy, your pole sitter, has led every single lap so far in the Brickyard 400. His teammate Louis Sharp right there alongside. Byron Jones, Caitlin Height, 3rd and 4th. They will make up row 2. Bailey Thompson, Blake Henderson will make up row number 3. Some of those that stayed out here, most of them tombstone cars moving forward here. Blake Henderson up into the top 10 from 31st to 6th. Christina Ryan, we talked to her. She's our in-race reporter. We talked to her during stage 1. We won't talk to her here because really not going to have a lot of an update given everything that we know now. But she starts in 7th here on this restart. Alongside Hunter Peach, Bobby Blowers, and Richard Odie will restart in the top 10. All of them staying out. Reminder, Josh Soucy, Louis Sharp, they have not come down pit lane at all yet in this race. Did not come down to lap 17, did not come down during the stage break. And we'll pull up the graphic on the bottom left of your screen. The fuel mileage window under green is 29 to 31 laps. With the 2 cautions we've had so far, reason to believe that they can stretch to about lap 35 before making that first pit stop. But very unusual, these 2 drivers, teammates for NFG Motorsports. There's 4 cars for NFG, the 24, the 19, the 20, and the 54. They've taken split strategy approaches in the process. Very interesting in that play. But both the 19 and the 24 will need to make a pit stop here by no later than lap 35 if our fuel mileage calculator is to be believed. But they are at the front of the field at the moment. Trap position, as we know, is key here at the Brickyard. And right now, they've got it. Qualified well, Soucy on pole, Louis Sharp qualified 5th. But they will have not only the oldest tires in the field, but they will have the least amount of fuel of anyone in the field. 32 cars, all of them still running in this race. The pace car is in. To the restart zone we go. Away we go. And stage 2 officially underway. Soucy got the jump he needed. He will be single file free and clear into turn 1. And Byron Jones gets clear of Caitlin Height there for 3rd. Oh, trouble. Sharp in the fence. And that looked like contact with Byron Jones. And just like that, Sharp's dream of a potential Brickyard 400 win is gone. Because that was not a light tap. That was frighteningly vicious. Out of the top 10 already. And the right side of that car is pancaked. Not a pleasant place to be. Byron Jones up to 2nd. Doesn't take much here at the Brickyard if you're already on rails. Blake Henderson got clear of Caitlin Height. Height checked up because of the melee. Henderson saw an opportunity and went for it, and now he's up to 3rd, a former winner of the Brickyard 400 from back in Season 2. Henderson's already having one of his best seasons to date. Won 3 races in Season 2, went winless for the better part of 3 years. Grabbed his first win in years at Bristol this season. And he's feeling pretty good right now, up to 3rd from 31st on the grid. Hunter Peach up to 5th. As Soucy worries about Byron Jones, Henderson keeps an eye on Caitlin Height. But he's got something he has not had all race so far, and that is some clean air. It is a lot easier managing 2 cars in front than it is managing 20 plus. Byron Jones, fastest lap of the race, 51.14. He is on a charge. Had a chance at Watkins Glen, threw it away 2 weeks ago. He is up in the 2nd spot. And he wants to put his elbows out with a 2-time former champion who is trying to go for his 3rd title. Caitlin Height. I want to ride on board with the 61 car for a second as she tries to chase down the 25 here. She's had a couple of decent looks. We'll see how it pans out here. Chevrolet driver struggling there for a moment. Struggled a lot there in turn 2. And allows Henderson to get away. And you see the flags in the grandstand there. They are pointed out towards the right-hand side. That's what Caitlin Height's fighting with at the moment. The car's pushing out. It's tight through turn 2. All the winds directly pointing off crosswind back straightaway. Lily Sharp has had to come down pit lane. Damage too much to bear. A pit stop was coming for Sharp anyway by lap 35, but she has had to bite the bullet and come down early. Susie will not be far away. He will have to give up his chance at the race lead. Byron Jones in second place would love the race lead now. Susie defending it the best he can because he knows track position is time. Oh, a little bit of contact there as Susie tries to come down pit lane. And Susie's not going to be happy about that because he knows that Byron Jones also nudged his teammate up to the wall on the restart. So he's going to be very familiar and aware of the situation there with the 60 car. And that is a team that is not unfamiliar with paying back receipts. And speaking of receipts, there's Lily Sharp coming out of pit lane now. Lily Sharp on the lead lap, importantly, still on the lead lap. And now has fresh tires and clean air. But this will check up Byron Jones just a little bit. Back into the grasp of Blake Henderson and Caitlin Height. 6 cars now in this group, all of them pedal lap 17, from Byron Jones down to Christina Ryan. Actually, make that 7. Bobby Blowers there is in the group as well. And then there's a little bit of a gap between Blowers and Richard Odie up in the top 10. Odie in 8th, Apperson 9th, Meredith in 10th. Meredith came down pit lane on lap 25. So did Josh Arnold. They have had to work their way forward through these cars that pedal lap 17, and that'll take them some time. Susie out in the clear. He has made his 4-tire stop. And you see the difference between Sharp and Susie and just where they're out on the racetrack. That's the damage that was done when Byron Jones made that nudge. Overall, I don't think Byron Jones is going to complain about where Sharp is located on the racetrack at the moment. It is more important in these cars to have a little bit of slipstream on the straightaways. The straightaways here are so long. And I think you're battling more the wind speed, the crosswind out of turn 2, than you are the understeer from the draft. Car in the fence. Whoa, car further back. Is that Swatsworth? It is. Out of turn 2. Looks like a 1-2 punch. Outside wall, then inside wall. And your Daytona 500 winner, I think, is going to make a trip down pit lane. There's damage on both sides of that car. I think it was a 1-2 punch for Swatsworth. He's going to try to stay out. But he is in a war to hurt right now. That car does not look good. DJ Anderson, team owner for NFG Motorsports, watching on. His team dominated the early stanza of this race. If we have a full green flag pit stop cycle, we will see Josh Susie and Lily Sharp cycle their way back forward. Very interesting top 5 at the moment. Byron Jones, Blake Henderson, Caitlin Height, Hunter Peach, Christina Ryan, your top 5. Kelly Thompson in 6th. The 27 and the 22 swap positions. A little bit of latency for the 27 of Thompson. A little bit of team orders there. Not to protect the 22, but just to prevent anything from happening to those two cars. Thompson being in the playoffs. Christina Ryan just racing, really trying to get the best result she can for this race itself. You want to protect both by making sure they don't cross paths with each other too often much there when you know latency is a factor. Bailey Thompson, Alabama native, a lot of ice down in that region, the Mid-South, the Sun Belt. Christina Ryan in Charlotte, not as much ice, a little bit of snow, a little bit of ice. Mother Nature definitely made its presence known this weekend for over half the United States. And that does have a play with things like latency, unfortunately. You see right there, Blowers trying to pick his way forward around the 27 at the moment. Meredith sitting in 8th has stalled out there for a little bit. He has been stuck behind the 91 and the 27 for a couple laps. Mark Kissenweather is closing in now, too. Got 2 cautions, both of them in stage number 1. Caution on lap 16 between Zach Apperson and John Matthews. Caution on lap 24 for James Wright. The 2 cautions that have been at play so far in this race. Jones using slipstream from Lily Sharp. We talked about it earlier. He may not be complaining about where Sharp's looking on the racetrack at the moment, and this is why he has pulled himself away by the tune of a 1.5 seconds over Henderson. And Henderson qualified 31st. He does not have the fastest race car underneath of him. He has definitely strategized his way up into the top 5. But he's not slow. He's outrunning Caitlin Height at the moment. Height's not found a way around him. And Hunter Peach can't touch him either. So there is pace in that 25 car. Right now, just not enough to hang on to that number 60. Coast to coast, we know how good that they have been. Obviously, 2 race wins for Zach Meredith. Byron Jones has had the race pace at several different races this season. Just hasn't had the results to show for him. We know that they've got some pace. Everyone's off cycle, though, because everyone's still thinking about Josh Susie and Lily Sharp at the moment. Coming to 9 laps to go in stage 2. Caitlin Height, really good run there into turn 3. Just can't go anywhere with it. It seems like Caitlin is struggling a little bit with understeer. Also a little bit of oversteer for Henderson. So they're both fighting something a little bit different. And again, Hunter Peach can't really go anywhere. Henderson a little tight there through 1. But we also know Caitlin Height struggles a lot here through 2 and is struggling again through 2. Had to really get out of it. It is a chess match here at the Brickyard. Positioning matters. And we're seeing that. We talk about pace and who has it, who doesn't. This group has pace. They don't have Byron Jones pace, but they've got pace. Christina Ryan's in this group as well. And then it's a 2-second drop back to Bobby Blowers and company. Blowers, there's Meredith, Kissenweather. They have made their way around. Bailey Thompson, Tucker Sawyer, and Josh Arnold. Top 10's looking a little bit spicy back here. Oh, huge hit by a couple cars. Blowers knocked the wall down. Thompson tagged the wall. I think Meredith got away with it. But 3 of the 6 cars in this group got a little overambitious and paid for it. And the damage is noticeable in the 91. And now Meredith and Kissenweather, who both been on lap 25, are free to race with 2.6 seconds to Christina Ryan in the top 5. I would not hedge my bets that they're going to catch up in time for the end of stage 2. But Christina Ryan is in this 4-car battle for a second. So anything's possible still. With 7 to go in the stage. And they're going to battle side by side between Kissenweather and Meredith, and Kissenweather's going to get himself forward a little bit. How much do they fight each other here? Flowers hanging in there right now in 8th place, excuse me. Arnold got around Sawyer, got around Thompson. He is now back in the top 10, looking for stage points in both stages, if he can manage it. 6 laps to go in stage 2 to figure that out. Only 1 car a lap down at the moment, and that is Angel Santiago. If things stay this way, if we get another caution before pit stops, Santiago can get his lap back. That is the question. When do we see green flag pit stops? James Wright actually might go a lap down here. He is just ahead of Josh Susie. Caitlin Hyatt has entered the pit lane. And so has Bailey Thompson. So they have bowed out from that fight for the top 10 to make a pit stop here. And that gives space, some breathing space, to Hunter Peach to try to chase down Henderson. That moves Kissenweather up to 5th, and caution's out. Caution is out. Eli Sasek around. And that ends stage 2. It's 5 laps to go before the end of the stage. The stage ends on lap 46. Jones, Henderson, Peach, Ryan, Kissenweather, Meredith, Arnold, Flowers, Sawyer, and Frazier, your top 10, will score the stage points according to the HTL Cup Series rulebook. That's brutal. And again, looks like short shoot turns 1 and 2 is the problem spot. Looks like Oberstadt and Apperson involved in this. See the damage on the 3-car of Stephen Oberstadt. Let's take a look. And he's already way loose here through turn 1. And not so lucky like James Wright. Smacks the wall. He has locked it up. That's where that's where Apperson gets his piece. Dale Markowski got his piece. There's Stephen Oberstadt, 3. 4 cars involved here. And that was a decent chunk of cars trying to get through that. See if we can run on board here. Steven Oberstadt. His perspective is not going to be pleasant. Yeah, everyone comes to a sudden stop, and there's nowhere to go. On board with, this is Oberstadt again. This is on board Gary Donaldson. A couple of close calls further back in this running order. We've got to duck and dive to get around. See those wounded cars at the back of the field now making their way down pit lane. This does move the NFG cars back to the front, as well as those that had just come down pit lane. Caitlin Height and Billy Thompson will also move to the front of the field. 4 cars together, separated by 13 laps on their pit stop strategy calls. But they will both cycle to the front of the field for the start of stage 3. And for NFG, for the 19 and the 24, they are thankful because this puts everyone on the same set of real estate. Everyone's got a pit stop to go in this race. Everyone's in the same real estate. The difference is when you make that stop. But everyone's got one pit stop to make in this race to get to the end. As it stood, there was a chance that Susie and Sharp would be left holding the bag on that one with that strategy call that they had made. It pans out. It worked out for them. But that was it was looking increasingly more risky prior to that caution coming out. Third caution of the night, a 4-car incident. We'll take a chance. Now that we've had a chance to sort of see how everyone's really sort of settling in here, let's go ahead and talk to our in-race reporter here as we get ready for the start of stage number 3 here. Christina Ryan, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, a chance to learn a little bit about the changes made to the car, a chance to sort of enjoy some clean air and battling up near the front of the field. What'd you learn during that stage?
I learned that I really missed fighting with my good friend Katie Height for race positions. That was fun to get up to her bumper and fight a little bit. But yeah, no, I think that the clean air is really important, so it's good that things worked out the way they did. We got decent track position. Again, I don't know if I quite have a car to go up there and fight for the win, but if things go our way, maybe. But it's a good race car. It's the changes were good. They moved things in the right direction and allowed me to really chase down those cars ahead of me. So, yeah, Dustin gave us a rocket ship as always, so big shout out to him.
Stage is no longer a part of the question. It's all about strategy from here. Everyone's got a pit stop to go to the end of this race. Being in the top 10 here, obviously, you said the adjustments that were made were positive. What's the feeling like now that you're in the top 10 and on the same game plan as everyone else on being able to stay up there?
Yeah, I mean, just have fun and race it out. Try to keep the car in one piece. It's Indy. You never really know what can happen, and things can go against you really quick. So I guess just make the most of it, make some highlights, and give you guys something to watch up there in the booth.
Going to be a lot of fun to see how the second half of the race plays out. Approaching lap 50, Christina Ryan starts top 10 in 9th here for this restart. Christina, good luck.
Thank you.
Appreciate her taking the time to speak to us. If we get a caution here about lap 75, we'll give her one last call and see where she's at and what her mentality is going to be like near the finish of this race. But right now, starting in the top 10 inside row 5. NFG Motorsport teammates along the front of the field. Josh Susie, Willie Sharp, re-inheriting the race lead. Josh Susie back out front. He's led 32 laps here in the Brickyard 400. King back on the throne for a limited time before another wave of pit stops begins. We'll see how that all pans out here. Willie Sharp to his left. And a hornet's nest of cars further behind. Green flag flies and away we go. Poor restart from Sharp. Thompson got clear. On top of that, a little bit of latency from Sharp, and Sharp's in the fence. Henderson's not going to be happy about that either. Henderson got blocked. Oh, trouble! Thompson just got turned, caution's out, huge crash. Back straight away. That was a huge crash on the back straightaway. And it started as a reaction to Bailey Thompson getting turned off the nose of Josh Susie. We will have to break this one down. Multiple cars involved. Multiple cars ate the wall pretty hard, both outside and inside wall. Thompson being one of them, Sawyer another one that ate the wall pretty hard. Let's focus on Bailey Thompson here for a second, because this is where it all starts. I feel like we need to back that up just a little bit. Yeah, we're going to need to back that up a little bit. No love lost here between these two. These two had run-ins last season at Michigan. They were going for the race lead, and they wrecked each other trying to go for it. Let's take a look here. Similar situation. Thompson on the charge. Thompson sends it in. Pushes Susie up. Susie drives down the racetrack. That's pretty cut and dry there, unfortunately. We'll see if we can grab the chopper cam. The chopper cam's been our friendliest cam so far. It's going to be pretty friendly here, too. Door-to-door has been fine. It's where this becomes an issue. And that is Susie driving down to the left. Whether that's Susie trying to react and respond to the door-to-door contact, whether that's just him trying to side draft, that's the chain reaction it sets off as everyone tries to react and respond. And a lot of cars bite it. Patrick Overstat, Brady Smith, among others. Denny tries to avoid hitting his teammate there, tags the wall instead. Not a great place to be. And you see the infield there on the back straightaway, a little bit of a used parking lot. So Susie out front at the moment. That's going to be interesting to see how that breaks down after the race. So pit stops underway. We'll step aside and grab our bearings and figure out who's where for this upcoming restart here. Stay tuned. More to come here from the Brickyard after this. About a dozen cars involved in the caution here on lap number 50. As we get ready to go back racing here at the Cathedral for Speed here in Indianapolis. Several cars involved. Josh Arnold, obviously Bailey Thompson, Dale Markowski, Patrick Oberstadt, Brady Smith, Jason Scott, among others. All involved in that. Alfred Denny, Tucker Sawyer, all getting a piece of damage here. Zach Meredith, all involved in this. Lap 52 crash. It was off of the nose of Josh Susie at the front of the field. Susie got away scot-free on this one. He'll start alongside Caitlin Height, former teammates, now adversaries at the front of the field. Lily Sharp in third, Byron Jones in fourth. As we get ready to go back racing here for the Brickyard 400. Fourth caution of the night, fourth restart coming up. Blake Henderson, Hunter Peach in row number 3. Christina Ryan, Mark Kissenweather in row 4, 7th and 8th there for them. Richard Odie and Lily Frazier, row 5 for this upcoming restart. A couple of retirements, Jason Scott and James Wright. James Wright not involved in the caution here on lap 50. He retired before that point, before stage 2 came to a close. Jason Scott retiring as a result of the caution here on lap 50. So we saw a little bit of tempers flare up in a pretty quick order. We'll see how things play out from here. Less than half the race to go. Pole sitter back out front. But the tensions have tightened. As the green flag flies once again, fourth restart underway. Whoa, trouble, trouble, cars outside wall. Huge crash, 5, 6, 7 cars involved and more. And once again, further back. Sharp, Height, Henderson, among others, involved in that one. Looks like, trying to count heads here, Byron Jones involved as well. A lot of your top 5 just flipped over there. Not in a physical sense, more like the turnover. Top 5 is completely different, minus the race leader. On the back straightaway again, out of turn 2. That is Henderson, and that's Gary Donaldson. He was not involved. I don't believe. He might have been. We'll get a look at the replay here soon. This is, again, just wild. Restarts. Everyone knows now that there's no more stage points to fight for. It's all about race position from here on out. And so there's not a lot of forgiveness here. Let's take a look. Looking at Sharp, the 19 car. Caitlin, I think, just gets loose. I don't know if she gets help from Byron Jones. That's not a good angle that we're looking at here. I don't know if Byron Jones gives her help or what happens here. Kissenweather and Henderson, they're trying to avoid the melee. They turn each other into the wall. I don't know if they get more damage or if they get left alone here. We'll figure that out. It may just be the loss of position here for them. See if they get hit. Looks like no. Eli Sassick trying to get an arc brake penalty, it looked like. A lot of cars just come to a stop there on the back straightaway. So it doesn't look like a lot of damage there for the 25. There's for Donaldson. Donaldson was just waiting for his teammate to get rolling. Fair enough. I want to grab another look here from Caitlin Height's perspective. And I would like, if we can, to get the chopper cam for this one. Looks like a slight tap there. It doesn't look egregious. It looks like a very slight tap. And it's unfortunate for Byron Jones that that's going to be the third time he's done that. Because he did the Susie and Sharp earlier in the race in stage 1. Sorry, in stage 2. Excuse me. Matthews, oh. That's a 2-for-1 hit. For the 81. Swaswick gets a piece of it as well. And everyone trying to avoid this. Goes to the grass. See the amount of cars undergoing repairs on pit lane at the moment. It is not a small amount of cars. Coming out of pit lane now. That's the 28 of Donaldson, the 19 of Sharp, the 95 of Brady Smith. All of them coming out of pit lane right now. Meanwhile, your new race leader, as we're looking at the replays here, pit stops did take place for some. Josh Susie has been one of those that take the pit stop here. So it's Hunter Peach and Richard Odie, your front of the field. Christina Ryan in third. Lily Frazier in fourth. David Smeal Jr. in your top 5. Bren Roberts, Pacey Wygant, Molly Blowers, Tucker Sawyer, Stephen Oberstadt, your top 10. Josh Susie, your former race leader, your pole sitter in this race. He is in the 12th spot behind Zach Apperson. He'll be outside row 6. Blake Henderson in 13th. He's row 7 alongside his teammate Gary Donaldson. Gary Donaldson, I went backwards on that. Alfred Denny's in 14th. Gary Donaldson's in 15th behind him. Lily Sharp in 16th. And a humdinger for a few cars here. Patrick Oberstadt, Zach Meredith, Josh Arnold have been in pit lane now for over 10 minutes. Oberstadt and Arnold needed a lot of points today, and they're not going to get it. It's going to make them must win at Kansas next week. Brady Smith is multiple laps down. Jason Scott is 2 laps down, if I'm not mistaken. Only retirement in this race, James Wright, who retired on lap 46. Two spicy restarts back to back. 5th restart coming up. Tempers are high. We will see how this plays out. New faces at the front of the field. We'll see how ambitious they get. Hunter Peach, Richard Odie, Christina Ryan, top 3. Lily Frazier, Davis Meal Jr., your top 5. Wind speeds, no joke. Still crosswinds on the straightaways. What do we got? Green flag flies once again. Peach clear Odie. All by himself. Christina Ryan would love second place, won't get it. Odie defended well on the outside. Trouble, caution. Pereira. And Pereira on her own. Sixth caution of the night. 3rd in stage 3 alone. We have double the caution count from the first half of the race. What happened to Pereira to draw this caution on the restart? Does she get crowded? Nope, bobbles it. Bobbles it on her own, gets a little bit of help from Kissenweather after the fact, but bobbled it to start the process. And unfortunately, when you're that stacked tightly together, not a lot of time to react. Obviously, in slow motion, quarter speed, it looks a lot slower. If you're in Mark Kissenweather's shoes, you don't know where you're going, and you don't know where the 96 is going. You just got to pick a lane and be consistent. And thankfully for Pereira, no contact with the wall on either side means that this should be a pretty clean one. So the top 4 don't change. Brent Roberts beats Davis Muir Jr. to the top 5 punch. But overall, not a lot of changes there. Josh Susi, he's still in top 10. He's still top 12. He is in 12th. Richard already thought about making a pit stop. Ultimately decides not to. He's got track position. He's sitting second. Making his appearance felt in the top 5. After a strong showing at Talladega a week ago. Backing it up. Tempers are high, though. That much we do know. It's a dangerous, dangerous place to be. When tempers are high, hopefully this caution here is able to kind of cool some jets down a little bit. That is Jason Scott getting a lap back in 74. But a couple of really testing cautions here. This one a little bit more ambivalent. This is just Pereira. A spin after getting loose there, bobbling it in turn 1. And then Mark Kissenweather nowhere really to go for him to go. Just finishes the 96 off and spins the 96 into the infield there. No contact, no damage for the 96, no damage for the 2. Overall, a fairly harmless caution, one of the more harmless ones of this race so far, but it is our 6th of the night. Hunter Peach, Richard Odie, Christina Ryan will be our top 3. We are going to see if we can hear our in-race reporter's thoughts on how this race has sort of changed on a dime. Obviously, her teammates have had some ill fortune, but she is still holding on pretty fine with about a lap until we go back racing. Christina Ryan from Carmen from the ABM booth. This is Carmen from the ABM booth. Okay, copy.
Here.
Interesting start to stage 3. 3 cautions back to back to back here. Your teammates not so fortunate. You're sitting in the 3rd spot, though. Walk us through it. Obviously, the situation's changed a little bit from when we last talked to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but from what I saw, looks like we're just kind of wrecking people now. So, unfortunate for our teammates to get wiped out in that, but they're getting their cars fixed and they should be back to full strength just in time for me to get hooked by somebody, I think. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the best shot I've had at getting to the front. So I'm going to Jimmy Johnson this thing and see what we can do, lead some laps. But besides that, just try not to get wrecked, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully we get a green flag run in here.
Obviously, that is, I think, the goal in mind here. 40 laps to go in this race. We double the caution count here in stage 3 alone. We'll let you focus on not only getting warmed up, but going for this race lead here. Obviously, everyone's still sort of in that one pit stop game plan here. If we get more cautions, how much does that change for you?
Right now, not too much. If we do it a couple more times, then maybe. But you really don't want to give up the track position if you don't have to. So I'm hoping we can get a green flag running and then this just run out to the end, because then it'll be a really fun race to watch. The package isn't awful, but it's definitely not offering a lot as far as getting runs like we were expecting to. So the track position is going to be super important, and strategy is going to be a big deal. So that's why I'm going to try and take advantage and give it hell here these next 10, 15 laps till I got to come in and pit. And hopefully we get green flag in and see where we end up. Maybe get a top 10 out of this thing.
Well, good luck again, and hopefully we get to see you survive the melee here on this restart. Good luck.
Church, later, baby.
That was Christina Ryan sitting second row on this restart alongside Lily Frazier, behind Richard Odie and Hunter Peach, who are on the front row. Peach, your race leader. Made her thoughts candid about what happened between Susie and Bailey Thompson. She believes a little bit of foul play there between the 24 and the 27. But that is in the rear view at the moment. It's time to focus eyes forward at the front of the field at the 40 laps, 39 at the line. When we go back racing, your green flag is about to fly, and we're about to get back underway. 6th restart here at the Brickyard. Bit of a tricky restart there for Hunter Peach. With Richard Odie and Christina Ryan napping a little bit here. Ryan, the biggest loser in that situation, from third on the line, now down to 6th, if not worse. And the gamesmanship is necessary for Hunter Peach. He is outside the top 8 in points and has been on the back foot all season long. We talked about that pre-race, how he has just not had it this season for most of the season. Skirted through, just marginally got into the round of 16. And now he's in with a golden chance to try to win the race here at the Brickyard 400. Got to do what you can. Unfortunately, the concern is, did he jump the restart? We saw the penalty for that. Back at Pocono, Patrick Oberstadt got penalized, got moved to the end of the lead lap for that penalty. If Hunter Peach jumped the restart, it'll be null and void here too. So that is something to kind of keep in mind here as they battle further back. 3 wide. Stephen Oberstadt, Davis Buick Jr., Pacey Wygant. Wygant, the biggest loser there. And Caitlin Heiss going to try to force her way through as well, and does so. And it's Wygant down to 13th. Look at the side draft there. And they'll go side by side through to turn 1 once again. Oh, tag at the wall there, Wygant. And he will continue to fall backwards here a little bit. Josh Susie getting around Richard Odie. Odie trying to play a little bit of defense here. Not enough. Around goes Henderson as well. And Kissenmother lined up to try to get around the 78 too. And there he goes in the Kissenmother outside lane. He'll wave goodbye to the 25. Whoa, trouble, Jones. Jones and Pereira. Caution is going to be out. I believe, maybe. Maybe not. Byron Jones in the attenuator. And that's his day done and dusted. The 60 and the 96 came together. And the 60's day is done. Front of the field, Peach still leads the way over Frazier, Roberts, Ryan, and Blowers. Ryan getting her way around the 91. Susie been on lap 55. So did Kissenmother, so did Henderson. All the top 5 in front of him, pin on lap 47. Everyone's got a pit stop in this race to go. The top 5 just have to make theirs first. Susie's got a fast car, but he's also shown his temper in this race. Cooler heads have to prevail in the last 35 laps. Pereira has come down pit lane after that incident with Byron Jones. Kissenmother's right there on the tail end of the 24. He has gotten a sniff of pace And he's looking good. Remember, Militia Racing Club won this race last season. It was Josh Arnold that was successful that day. Mark Kissenweather saw this race as the race that his championship hopes ended. With his 4th consecutive DNF last season. As Hunter Peach continues to lead the way. Susie knows he's got a teammate leading and a lot of pressure behind him at the moment. Henderson sitting there in 8th. He's recovered nicely from that spin with Kissenweather. Both of them recovered pretty nicely from that spin. Kissenweather's had a couple of unfortunate run-ins here, but it's not stopped him from being competitive here at the Brickyard in Stage 3. Between Flowers and Ryan has pulled this group together. Ryan on the outside, Flowers to the inside. And Christina holds off the 91. Car in the fence. Whoa! Trouble! Trouble! Susie and Kissenweather together. And Kissenweather in the fence again off the tail end of Steven Oberstadt. Oh, my goodness. Susie Henderson and Kissenweather got together. Kissenweather, the worst benefactor of that. Susie got a piece of it. And not an insignificant piece of it. Seventh caution of the night on lap 69. Unfortunately, not a nice situation. Hunter Peach leads the way. The window is open. A pit stop here gets you to the finish. That is the situation at hand. Let's figure out what happened. Between Kissenweather, Susie, and Henderson that kicked all this off. They are behind Bobby Blowers and Christina Ryan. That is how the stage gets set. Kissenweather tries sending it and just gets loose. Just gets super loose there. Nowhere, I mean, Susie can't see it. Susie doesn't know what's happening. He has no idea. Henderson just barely skirts through this. Oberstadt tries not T-boning the 24, but can't avoid both of them. And unfortunately, had he been able to shoot the thread the needle, I don't think that's a caution. But unfortunately, just not able to do so. Locked the brakes up, and Kissenweather eats the worst of it. And unfortunately, he's in the same position he was in last season. This race was a make-or-break race for him in terms of whether or not he was going to make the championship 8. And now, once again, he is on the outside looking in. And as we called, the entire field came down the pit lane. Steven Oberstadt getting some repair work done. He'll come back down pit lane. But he also entered a closed pit, so he'll be starting at the end of the line anyway. Olivia Pereira getting one of her laps back. She'll still be 1 lap down. Your top 2 leaving pit lane. Lily Sharp, Christina Ryan, Bren Roberts in 3rd. Hunter Peach losing 3 spots here on this pit stop from 1st to 4th. Frazier in 5th. Sharp and Ryan took 2 tires. Everyone else is taking 4. And if you're further back in the order, you're taking some damage repairs too. This has been something. Less than 30 laps to go when we go back green. And what a shakeup we have seen in this field. Sharp, Ryan, Roberts, Peach, Frazier, Height, Sawyer, Smeal, Thompson back in the top 10 after being hooked by Josh Susie earlier in the race. And Richard Odie in 10th. A lot of your major players are now further back in this field with damage repairs. Blake Henderson down in 19th, Josh Susie in 20th. Pacey Wygent 15th, coming back down pit lane, topping off the fuel by Flowers topping off the fuel, so does Santiago. Kissenweather a lap down officially. It looks like maybe. It might be still on the lead lap here, but it's going to be close. There he is. Still on lead lap, but that car's still not looking good. A lot of cars have eaten it pretty hard tonight. And we still have a decent chunk of racing to go. Still over 25% of this race to go as we get ready to go back racing. We are not going to speak to Christina Ryan during this restart because she is on the front row with a chance to try to lead laps here at the Brickyard 400. She's got a contest with Lily Sharp, who has had mixed results on these restarts, but has not controlled any of them. So we'll see how that plays out. Bren Roberts in 3rd, Hunter Peach in 4th. Teammates on the outside lane should be added, the 19 and the 20 for NFG Motorsports. DJ Anderson watching on. His team has had a pretty interesting night. Not all positive. But it has been a game of survival here at the Brickyard. Susie bit his biggest bullet in that last caution with Mark Kissenweather, Blake Henderson, and Steven Oberstadt. 3 heavy contenders in this race involved in that. Lily Sharp has been consistently good here at the HTL Cup Series Brickyard 400. This is probably now her best chance to win this crown jewel event. She's got a former ABM World Champion to her inside and a bunch of race winners behind that would love nothing more than to break winless streaks or grab first wins of their own. Sharp, Ryan, Roberts, Peach, Height, Frazier, your top 6. 7th restart in hand. Green flag flies. Away we go. Trouble, car inside. Car inside. Blowers. Blowers on the exit. And this will likely be a yellow. Yep, there's the yellow. And so we'll have a reset. 8th caution. 5 Blowers spun in the short chute between 1 and 2 on the opening of pit exit there. Always tricky. Always tricky because it may not seem like it's a dangerous place to be. Issue is that if you have cars coming around or cars exiting pit lane like we had with Steven Oberstadt, then it can become an issue. We'll take a look at what happened that caused Blowers to spin in the 91 car here in just a second as the field catches up to the pace car for the 8th yellow of the night. This is what happened to Blowers, the 91. Joe Show Racing's had a pretty rough night, all things considered. Does he get help from somebody, or does he just get loose? That's Susie to his right in the 24, that blue machine. He just gets loose. Breaks loose late out of turn 1. Little tag of the safer barrier. Does a great job of keeping it off the race surface itself. The issue is just that pit exit is so important here. And it is it's a hot zone on the racetrack. So when traffic comes through, you just don't know what's going to happen there. Should that have been a yellow? I personally wouldn't think so. But that is an iRacing call. And we have seen that happen before. Again, a soft yellow, all things considered. But iRacing deems it necessary. And so we will have a reset here. So if you had any concerns about fuel getting you to the end of the race, those concerns are gone. That being said, a decent chunk of cars do still come in. And a lot of this is going to be repair work. Susie, Sasek, Matthews, Markowski, Santiago, Kissenweather, Donaldson, all in pit lane. Oberstadt, Brady Smith, all down pit lane as well. And all of that is damage repair. That is everyone below 17th. Olivia Pereira will get her last lap back. So she'll be on the lead lap. It'll be 25 cars on the lead lap for this 8th restart of the night. And the NFG teammates will have to figure this one out a little bit differently. They'll be alongside each other on this upcoming restart instead of on the outside together. Christina Ryan will be on the bottom of the racetrack. Brent Roberts on the outside. We are at the 3/4 mark of this race here in the Brickyard 400. 8 cautions. Stage 3 has not been the smoothest sailing. 25 cars still on the lead lap. Everyone's still pushing to try to win the Brickyard 400. A win for Frazier, a win for Sharp. Sorry, not for Sharp. Sharp's won an HTL Cup Series race, just not on an oval. A win for Frazier or for Ryan would be their first career wins in HTL. That's the 71 and the 22. They're top 5 at the moment. A win for Sharp, for Peach, or for Caitlin Height breaks a winless drought over a season in the making. For Sharp, it's, I think, almost 3 seasons in the making now. A return to victory lane for Brent Roberts would be his first since before we went to open setups. So everyone looking to break some sort of vibe. Sharp picks the outside lane, Peach to the inside. That's similar to how Sharp lined up with with Susie before, where Susie lined up outside and Sharp was on the inside lane. Outside lane's where you want to be, I think, on this restart. We've seen it be a good defensive lane on the restarts. I think that they've kind of taken that notepad to heart. I think you're hedging your bet on Roberts not being smart to it, because I think Roberts can definitely run down both Peach and Sharp if given the time to do so. I think you're hedging your bets, giving Roberts the preferred lane and giving him the ability to read the leader instead of second place. But I think if you're Sharp, this is your best chance to try to win the race. At least control the lead in case there is another caution. The concern becomes pretty quickly friendly fire. Hunter Peach needs a race win to get into the championship 8. Sharp wants to finally win the Brickyard 400 after being so good consistently over the last 3 seasons here. You don't want them to wreck each other. And that is the big issue, because they have not had the cleanest seasons. There's a reason Sharp's not in the playoffs, and there's a reason that Peach only made it in by 3 points to begin with. Right now, this would be considered punching above your weight class for both the 19 and the 20. But they've got a chance to rewrite that narrative. 8th restart coming up, teammates front row, and a hornet's nest behind him. Pace car is in, restart zone, green flag, away we go. 24 laps to go. And as we thought, Roberts was on the jump. He was on it pretty hot. 83, keep an eye on him. He runs wide. And it gives Peach a little reprieve. And Christina Ryan fought back. Brent Roberts had the keys to the kingdom in his hands, and he went wide and missed it. And now he's under threat from Caitlin Height. And what was looking very scary for about 10 seconds now looks a lot more favorable. Roberts battling with Caitlin Height. Christina Ryan is your buffer. And the teammates, the 19 and the 20, are racing. You saw the Dragon, the slipstream break down the front straightaway. Sharp knows how to do this. Both of them winners in the AB and Champ Car World Series. Both of them multiple Arrowhead 500 starts. They know the strategy by heart. Sharp goes inside. Peach doesn't brow to it. Peach has a really good run. He's going to look to the inside at 3. And Christina Ryan's hoping for a little bit of harbinger of chaos. She wants these two to get together. Oh, she's going to have a good run. Peach trying to block. They are 3 wide at the line. Who's going to have heartbreak? Ryan had to back out of it. Sharp hits the wall hard. Ryan to second. Unforced error for Sharp. Ryan to second. Here comes Roberts again. Roberts looking for third. Roberts has third. And here comes Frazier. Frazier looking for fourth. Peach has to defend from Christina Ryan at the front of the field. 21 laps to go. Side by side. Whoa, trouble. Sharp. Sharp currently off the racetrack. We stay green. From third place, Sharp drops down. The conversation is now Peach, Ryan, Roberts, Frazier, Height. Your top 5. Side by side, tightly together. Frazier and Height. Very tight, those two Camaros. And Tucker Sawyer's got his nose in the mix as well. Ooh, this is spicy. Blake Henderson watching a windshield full of spiciness. He is sitting in the 7th spot. Thompson in 8th. Chad Swatsworth 9th. Davis Muir Jr. top 10. Lily Sharp has made it to pit lane. She's off the racetrack. This is interesting. Trouble, Frazier. And the caution comes out there as Frazier spins down pit lane. 9th yellow of the night. And you wondered, as tightly as they were fighting, who would be the loser in that? And it's Frazier. We'll take a look at what happened to Frazier here. This is from high above, and you see the context already started. This really needs to be backed up here to about turn 3. There we go. Well, let's take a look. This is Frazier in the 71, Caitlin Height in the 61, Tucker Sawyer in the 97, a bystander, just a spectator here. But the 71 and the 61, they've been fighting hard going in throughout. We talk about tempers flaring. This is what it looks like. The Height gets to the bottom before Frazier does and just drives through. Frazier trying to take the slow arc. And Caitlin Height trying to fill that gap. I don't think that moves on for Height. But also the door's left pretty wide open. So back out on track. Here comes Frazier. I think the silver lining is that with Frazier, not a lot of damage on that 71 car. And you look at the field, a lot of pit stops being made. This is for fuel that we're seeing right now. Christina Ryan just came down pit lane. Zach Apperson just came back down pit lane. This is a fuel stop. This is to ensure that they were good to go to the finish. Hunter Peach has track position, but now he's got Bryn Roberts without any barriers. And unfortunately for Hunter Peach, the unfortunate fact is that Bryn Roberts has been faster. I think that's the unfortunate fact for Hunter Peach at the moment, is that Bryn Roberts has the faster car at the moment. The silver lining is that after Roberts, not a lot of cars around them have had that pace. Susie in 10th had that pace, but he has a damaged race car. He has not touched that pace since his crash with Kissenweather. He has not touched that 51.2. Roberts has. Roberts has Hunter Peach beat right now by about a 10th as far as optimum pace goes. It's not great if you're Hunter Peach. You were hoping to have a little bit of a barrier. You're not really going to have that now. And it looks like he's chosen the inside lane for this restart, which I don't think I agree with. We know the outside lane's really good for making things happen out of turn 2. I don't think I would have willingly given that up. But we'll see how it plays out. That's the reason I'm up here and not down there. So let's do a little through the field, shall we? Hunter Peach leads the way, started this race in 15th. His adversary, Bryn Roberts, has been top 5 most of the day. Started this race in 4th, sits front row outside. Caitlin Height also been a top 10 runner most of this race, from 8th on the grid up to 3rd. Tucker Sawyer from 12th on the grid. He's already locked in to the Championship 8. His win at Talladega last week secured that. He's just looking for extra points. He's just looking for some extra prizes here, and a crown jewel is a pretty good prize. Blake Henderson, Season 2 winner of this Brickyard 400. From 31st, the last row of the field, he is now up into the top 5. Chad Swatsworth, he is where he started this race in 6th. He is the only driver right now where he started. Richard Odie up in the 8th spot, and he's up 10 spots from where he started here. Davis Smith Jr. to his inside in 7th. Alfred Denny from 20th to 9th at the moment. Josh Susie in 10th from being on pole position. Remember, he got involved in that incident with Mark Kissenweather, Blake Henderson, and Steven Oberstadt. His car still not 100%, but it's got to do for right now. Not a lot you can say at this particular point in time other than get to work. 16 to go at the line. 9th restart in hand. Peach and Roberts will be the drivers that get us there. The green flag flies, and away we go. Trouble, Henderson. Huge trouble there on the short chute. For Blake Henderson. Where the sun's at the moment, I can't tell if there's any damage on the front of that car. It doesn't look like it. It looks like he just got spun. Whether or not he spun himself or whether or not he got a little bit of help, we'll find out. 10th caution of the night. And it sends Henderson down the 24th. This is a replay. And this is Henderson, just like we've seen so many times in this race so far. James Wright, Mark Kissenweather, Olivia Pereira, Bobby Blowers. Loose on his own. Everyone checks up there a little bit. Sawyer in the fence, Odie in the fence. Little bit of damage on the nose of that car. It's on the driver's side. But not the end of the world for Henderson at this point. Unfortunately, though, it makes his life a lot more difficult. And unfortunately, he's been way too used to life being made difficult. We are in the last 15 laps of regulation here at the Brickyard 400. 10 cautions. Not where we thought we would be tonight. Tempers flared pretty quickly in this race. And the danger level's not really come back down since. We do appreciate you spending your Monday night with us. Hopefully you're staying warm and staying safe after the snowstorm that affected over half of the U.S. Free pass to Steven Oberstadt on this caution. Put Oberstadt back on lead lap here, so we're back to 25 cars on the lead lap. Brady Smith 3 laps down. Willie Sharp 6 laps down as things sit. We've not had to worry about them for quite some time, but there are overtime restart rules in effect here. 3 attempts at an overtime restart. What is overtime? Overtime is 2 added laps to the race to try to get this race to enter the green. We have 3 attempts at overtime. We've not had to use it in quite some time, so we're in pretty unfamiliar territory as of late. But 3 attempts at an overtime restart. If a caution comes out before we get to the white flag, the race is official. Or sorry, if a caution comes out before the white flag, we will rack it up and try again up to the 3rd attempt. If a caution comes out during the 3rd attempt, or if we get to the white flag at any point, the race is official. We race back to the line, or if it's under caution, then the race is over. We're not at that point yet. We still have 13 laps to go in the Brickyard 400, but with how this race has been, it is now on the table. And as of late, that's not been often that it's been on the table. Coming up to the 10th restart here tonight, we got Hunter Peach and Bryn Roberts once again on the front row. Caitlin Height and Davis Mule Jr. sitting pretty well lined up there on the inside there, rows 2 and 3. Outside rows 2 and 3. You've got Shad Swatsworth and Alfred Denning. As we get ready to go back racing. 10th restart coming up. Let's see how this goes. Tenth restart. Pace car is in pit lane. Through the restart zone we go. Green flag. Same situation as before. Peach got clear, and Bryn Roberts will slide in behind to follow. Through turn 1 cleanly. Turn 2, a little bit more sketchy. Alfred Denny far outside. Drifted a little too wide, but made it through. And here comes Caitlin Height. Caitlin Height looking for second, looking to play spoiler. Side by side with Roberts through turns 3 and 4. Swatsworth in tow here. He's having a good run when he needs it. But the more that these two battle, the better it is for Peach. Yellow flag, caution's out. And huge trouble. Jason Scott's around. Looks like Olivia Pereira's around. Not sure who all's got a piece of this. We know 2 of the Joe Show cars are involved. The 96 and the 74. There's Pereira and there's Scott. Both of them on the lead lap here. 11th caution of the night. Let's see why. And it starts with Pereira getting loose in front of Lily Frazier. And Frazier gets sandwiched by the 2 Joe Show cars there. And that's unfortunate for Henderson, who gets a piece of that. Nowhere for him to go. Matthews tries avoiding running into Henderson and just clobbers the wall. Donaldson doesn't try to avoid Pereira at all. I think because he's already committed to the outside lane there. He sees smoke. Not a lot of good angles here. Unfortunately. Yeah, just gets loose in front of Frazier. And once Frazier's in the safer barrier there on the exit of turn 1, not a whole lot she can do. Not a whole lot Henderson can do either at that point. You see the damage on a lot of these race cars now. You are getting pretty much to the point now where you just got to suck up and deal with it. Unfortunately, not a great place to be as a driver when you know that something's wrong, but you really don't have the time to fix it at this point. Some drivers are going to try to. Matthews, Donaldson, Sasek, Oberstadt, Kissenweather, Sawyer, Pereira, Odie, Scott, they're all down pit lane. Rest of the field staying where they're at right now because track position is that important. Brady Smith gets a free pass. He is now 2 laps down. We'll step aside for about 30 seconds here at Indianapolis. We have the end coming up here. 11th restart in hand as well. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the HTL Brickyard 400 here at Indianapolis. Less than 10 laps to go in regulation here. I mean, you see the sights of the Cathedral of Speed here in the U.S. We do have a chance to try to talk to our in-race reporter one last time before the end of this race. So we're going to try to go for it here. We'll see if we can talk to Christina Ryan. Hopefully she's not too busy talking with her team here. Christina, this is Carmen with Avian. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
This is obviously a very interesting situation to be in. We're sitting right now in the 9th position. Sort of just walk us through. These last few laps have been interesting. Came down pit lane. What was the call there?
Well, the previous cycle, Bobby, I'm not mad at him. He was just trying to get the most out of it, but he was pushing me in the pit lane, and he pushed me too deep into my pit box, and I slid the box. And I was like, wow, that was clever. And then he slid his box, so he just was driving too quick. So I made the audible to take 2 tires so I wouldn't lose the track position. Got up there, tried to go for the lead, made some moves, you know, but I figured my best shot was to get back on sequence, get 4 tires, so I wouldn't have to deal with that the rest of the race. And I was hoping we'd have a little bit of green flag running so I could work my way through him. It hasn't worked out that way, but you know, we got the freshest tires of anybody in front of us now, so we can see if we can make an opportunity. We've had a really good race car and been slowly chipping away, getting some positions here and there. We're gonna win it or wreck it. So be ready for me to be in the grandstands here in about 3 laps, but we're gonna give it everything we got.
Obviously, sun setting here. Well, lighting is going to become more of a factor here at this track. Obviously, no lighting here. You're starting inside row 5. Obviously, everyone else has been aggressive. When do you ramp that up?
Well, I've been smart all day. I think with the way that some of the actions have been, I think I deserve to be a bit of an idiot now. I've played it smart the whole race, and I think I've earned myself a little treat of being a moron. So I'm gonna try and be smart about it, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to win at Brickyard. It's the biggest race on my calendar for HTL this year. I'd love to go out and win it if I can.
Well, we hope that we get to see the best of luck for you here from the broadcast booth. Obviously, you can go kill it, and we'll see if we can talk to you at the end.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's get ready to go. Racing your 11th restart in hand. Christina Ryan, our in-race reporter here. We do appreciate her sharing her time with us here. Hunter Peach and Hunter Peach, Caitlin Height, front row. Bren Roberts is in row 2 alongside Shad Slotsworth in a mix-up of positions here. Green flag flies, away we go. And that was not the restart Hunter Peach wanted. Caitlin Height to the front. And clear. That was not what Hunter Peach wanted. A good points day is a good points day, but his ticket to punch himself into the Championship 8 is now in the hands of the 61. Keep an eye on the 24. Susie's in the top 10, battling to try to get trying to get to the top 5. Coming to 6 laps to go. Caitlin Height saw an opportunity and she took it. Well, Frame Motorsports has yet to win a HTL Cup Series race as a team. Only one car in this field, no Callie Height tonight. Can Caitlin Height do the job? Razor close margins to that wall on the exit of turn 1. But she's got half a second in hand to Hunter Peach and Bren Roberts. Davis Meal Jr. in 4th. Shad Slotsworth in 5th. And Caitlin Height's trying to leave them in the dust. Five laps to go. Fast lap of the race by Caitlin Height, 50.88. The only driver to get below the 51-second mark. Leaving it all on the table. As Peach and Roberts battle for second. Caitlin Height looking to extend her streak as the winningest driver in HTL Cup Series history. Played a super sub role this season. Did not anticipate being back in HTL after last season. But here we are. And here she is with 4 laps to go. Looking for her second win at the Brickyard 400. Sorry, her third win. Had to pull up the graphic at the bottom left of your screen. Won season 3, won season 5. She's won odd unnumbered seasons since season 3. We're in season 7. So that's a trend that went under the radar for us here. She's looking really good at the moment. Fastest car on the racetrack still. She got that clean air and is not looking back. 3/4 of a second. 3 to go. Dialed that car in when she needed to. Struggled early on in the 61 car. It was not a pleasant sail early on in this race for the 61 camp. Still not pleasant. You can see how much she's fighting the wheel. But they made the car faster. Put the car on rails and made it faster. If you're Peach, if you're Roberts, you're sort of just flailing endlessly at this point. You had it in your hands. The stop and start nature of stage 3 made it impossible to predict what was going to happen. A lot of aggressiveness, a lot of tempers, a lot of impatience, all kind of fed into it. I believe it's one of the most experienced drivers in this field, one of the most successful in this field, to find a way to navigate it. Single file into turns 3 and 4. Only a couple more opportunities to try to make passes happen. As the dust begins to settle on the restarts, we come to the white flag. 1 lap to go, presented by Southern Cleaning Company, and Caitlin Height is 2.5 miles from pay dirt. Out of turn 2. Does Bren Roberts have anything for Hunter Peach? Or is he going to have to settle for third? Caitlin Height entered this race a 17-time HTL Cup Series race winner. Out of turn 4 for the final time. To cross the line, the yard of bricks, to become an 18-time HTL race winner. Caitlin Height conquers the Brickyard a 3rd time and denies an automatic move to the championship 8 to Hunter Peach and Bren Roberts, who round out the podium. And a bloodbath amongst the playoff drivers will mix up the points quite thoroughly ahead of the round of 16 eliminator race in 7 days' time at Kansas. With Caitlin Height, a race winner once again for the 18th time. Congratulatory bump there, Christina Ryan, who finished 9th. Big bump there by Bobby Blowers, who finished 8th. A lot of people congratulating Caitlin Height. Former teammate Josh Susie, pole sitter of this race, who finished this race in 6th. Big bump there by Davis Muir Jr., another former teammate from last season. All the former team went all separate ways. Caitlin Height for Volfrea Motorsports. The team gets its first win in HTL. Caitlin Height gets her 18th. And she burns it down at the Brickyard. Winning moment there for Caitlin Height, victorious at the Brickyard a 3rd time after winning in Season 3 and Season 5. Pretty phenomenal stuff. Her 18th career win. Once again, puts her 4 ahead of her former teammate Josh Susie, who has 14 wins. Caitlin Height victorious here at the Brickyard. We'll talk to our podium finisher here in just a second. Step aside for just 30 seconds to get ready. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brickyard 400 Indianapolis Motor Speedway Phenomenal racetrack, saw a chaotic race won by one of the most successful drivers in HTL who had to navigate the storm. A wild race for everyone here, and it's going to really shape up how Kansas is going to look in 7 days' time, the round of 16 eliminator. The results on your screen here from the Brickyard 400. Caitlin Height, your race winner, from 8th on the grid, denying automatic moves to the Championship 8 for Hunter Peach and Bren Roberts to round out the podium. David Smeal Jr. in 4th. Shad Swatsworth rounds out the top 5. A great result for him in the 6-car team. Very needed result for him, as well as it was for Hunter Peach in 2nd. Josh Susie recovers to finish 6th. Ahead of Pacey Wygant, Bobby Blowers, Christina Ryan, Bailey Thompson round out your top 10. A good recovery drive there for Bailey Thompson to get into the top 10 after being wrecked out early in this race. Dale Markowski, Alfred Denny left begging for a top 10, 11th and 12th at the finish here at the Brickyard. Steven Oberstadt recovers to 13th place, was a lap down several times in this race, got back on the lead lap and got a top 15 finish for his efforts here. A good result for him. Mark Kissenweather, not so much given what was possible for that car. 26th on the grid, didn't qualify well, but underlining how fast that car was at points, 14th feels disappointing for the number 2 camp. Eli Sasek from 10th to 15th. That's where he finishes up here ahead of Zach Apperson, who had a middle-of-the-road finish. 16th of 32 cars here. Lily Frazier involved in an accident late, could only muster back up to 17th ahead of Angel Santiago. Richard Odie III, 19th. Blake Henderson only mustering at 20th in what has been a gut punch race for the 25 camp. With a lot of work to do at Kansas in a week to try to punch his ticket into the Championship 8. Not safe by any stretch of the imagination in that 25 camp. Gary Donaldson, 21st on the lead lap. Same with Tucker Sawyer, 22nd. John Matthews, Jason Scott, 23rd and 24th, also all on the lead lap. Jason Scott, the last car to finish on the lead lap. Everyone a lap down or more or out of this race. Olivia Pereira, Brady Smith, all a lap down here. Lily Sharp saw the finish, saw the checkered flag, the last car to do so. Byron Jones, Josh Arnold, Zach Meredith, Patrick Oberstadt, and James Wright, all retirements here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway tonight. That being said, we do have podium interviews coming up here, so let's see if we can talk to our podium finishers here. Let's start with 3rd place, Bren Roberts tonight. Bren, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Obviously, not the result you were looking for, battling for the race lead most of the end of that race, but walk us through it. A lot of chaos there at the end that we weren't quite expecting going in.
Yeah, there was a lot of chaos, especially if you got outside like the top 4. In my case, it felt like it was so action-packed. I know there was a couple wrecks for the lead, controversial one, I guess, but yeah, I kind of knew going into this I just needed to have a good points day. I wasn't honestly expecting to run as well as I did, but we switched sets right before the race. First laps we had was a warm-up, so glad we did that. I think we would have Patrick was super fast, probably quicker than me early on in the race, and unfortunately got caught up in an incident. And then Steven and Dale had some bad luck throughout the race with some wrecks. But yeah, so good race, good points day. It's really all I could ask for.
Obviously, for you, this helps solidify a really good chance for you to make the Championship 8 just on points alone at Kansas. That being said, your bread and butter in HTL has been those intermediates coming up, and 3 of the next races, including next week, are intermediates. Kansas, Chicagoland, Homestead, Fontana end up the season. You've got a good track record on all 4 of those racetracks coming up here. Pulling out a good result here, qualified well, obviously made that change after qualifying to a different setup, and it worked out for you. Obviously finishing P3 tonight, going into Kansas. Is the vibe feeling pretty good that you can comfortably make your way into the Championship 8 and really kind of get back to the winning form we saw earlier this season?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about making the Championship 8. I think a couple people who were on the cut line wrecked, so I'm sure the cut line probably didn't advance that far up, and I think I got a decent amount of points. So I feel pretty good going into next week. I know I can get a good finish. And then, yeah, going into the final 8, those 3 races, I know those races are, you don't even have to win. Winning does nothing. You just have to accumulate points, and I feel like that's what I've been really strong at this year. Need to get a little bit better at getting stage points early on in the race, but I feel like I've been one of the under the radar guys at getting points and getting finishes. So I might not have the flashy wins, but I feel like I can make something happen.
A really good job here at the Brickyard surviving the chaos here. Obviously, you mentioned your teammates there struggling a little bit with bad luck and adversity. That all avoided your way here, despite your ability being close to the epicenter on a couple of occasions here. Obviously, 4 races to go in the season, and your spot in the championship 8 looking more and more likely as these races progress. That being said, obviously a long race tonight. Before we let you go and let you obviously debrief and get ready for Kansas, if there's anyone want to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on an amazing podium effort here tonight, and as you mentioned before, consistency is key, and it's so important right now.
Yeah, it definitely was a long one tonight. So thank you to you for the broadcast. I'm sure there was some moments where it was fun to broadcast, and there was some moments where it was probably not so great. So thank you to you for sticking through it the whole way. Thanks to everybody who shows up every Monday. It's a lot of fun. And thanks to Steven for giving me the opportunity and all my teammates.
Phenomenal job for Ben Roberts, P3, and a firm grasp on that championship 8 appearance here. Got to see out Kansas next week, but things are looking good for the 83 camp. Ben Roberts, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll move right on along to our second place finisher, who is going to be feeling devastated given the state of affairs at the end of the race. A race win in grasp. Instead, it's another second place in a bridesmaid finish for Hunter Peach, who really desperately needed some good results to come through. This is a good result, but not what was being hoped for in the 20 car camp. Walk us through the race there and how it got away.
First of all, Carmen, how you been?
It's been a long time no see, hasn't it?
It really has. I was expecting to see you in Darlington. I didn't. It's been too long since I've been on the podium. I completely forget what it's like being up here.
Walk us through it, though. Obviously, the season's been a challenge, just threading the needle to get into the round of 16. It's been a struggle in the playoffs up to this point, but a good result here helps you out significantly. But walk us through it, because this was the race that it could have all gone completely wrong for you.
Yeah, it's been one of those seasons, to say the least. Here and there, show signs of consistency, and then just everything falls apart, getting caught up in wrecks and have speed, then mechanical failure, like Texas could have had a win there, and then obviously the monitor decides it wants to die. But obviously with this race, struggled overall just with the setup balance, and it just felt twitchy. Got stuck back in traffic, was not very good stage 1, and then kind of just went off strategy from Sosi and them. And we're like, we're just going to throw everything at it, just adjust tire pressures, whatever we can do. Maybe it'll make the car better. And from there, kind of everything, the chips just fell into place, and was able to kind of like stay out and able to get in 6th place and restart on the outside and get some clean air. And as soon as the car got clean air, it was just a rocket ship when it was out front. Like, if we could have just had the race to stay green, I think could have easily defended off, but I mean, I don't know what else I could really do. It's just maybe my restarts could have been better. I don't know. I'm lost for words.
Regardless of how this race played out, a good result like a second place here obviously helps you out significantly, especially with so many playoff drivers having issues tonight. It really helps solidify your chance. Kansas coming up is going to be another racetrack where the odds are going to be in your hands as far as how that race goes. What are the vibes going into Kansas that you can try to capitalize on the success of the team as a whole to try to get into that championship 8?
I think we got obviously I got a good team behind me that will support me and will give me the best car I have, and it comes down to me obviously as a driver to execute the plan like every week. So obviously it comes just down to me. Kansas is a good track for me. We're just gonna have to thread the needle like we done all year, how we got in the playoffs, and just basically survive. And obviously the championship lines up really good with me with Chicago, Miami, and Fontana. So if we can get there, I think we have a shot. If we don't make it, it's going to haunt me looking back at Darlington and obviously this race with the second place finish to being right there with the racing grabs.
obviously a lot of work to go into Kansas next week to try to get that 20 car into the championship 8 to get to those final 3 races with a chance to have the championship once again. Before we let you go, and obviously let you debrief with the team and get ready for the race ahead here at Kansas, that also pivotal elimination race. If there's anyone I shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on making the podium once again, and hopefully we get to have more of these conversations a lot sooner.
Hopefully so. I just want to thank you for putting the broadcast on, and everybody at ABN Studios, even people that fill in for you when you were not able to do it. They're still able to put the broadcast on. Shout out to NFG, DJ, obviously Sosi and Smil for all the help they give me just setup wise and help me learn how to work on the car, even though I'm very bad at it and I feel like I'm washed, but we're really not. Shout out to Blake for allowing me to race, everybody in the league. Overall, I would say, the race haven't been too great with the caution wise, and hopefully we get everything cleaned up, because when we're able to race really good, I think the races are really fun. Like Charlotte was a really good one back then.
Obviously a lot of good races here. Obviously Talladega last week, 4 caution race, fantastic event just a week ago as well to kind of add to that here. So hopefully that is the case. Hopefully we don't have audio issues here with Hunter, but hopefully get to talk to him again here in Kansas in 7 days' time. But again, Hunter Peach, congratulations on the second place finish, and hopefully we get to see you battle for it again here in the breadbasket. And we will go ahead and move on forward here. Apologize for the audio issue there with Hunter Peach there at the very end of his interview there. We move on to an 18-time race winner now in the HTL Cup Series. First win for Freya Motorsports. Caitlin Height returning as a super sub, filling in for different cars, different roles, and grabs a race win for the 3rd time at the Brickyard. Caitlin, walk us through it. That was something special.
Oh my goodness, it was a very up and down sort of night. Just the car was good, it just wasn't great enough to pull on the straightaways like I wanted it to, but it just boiled down to right place at the right time, and it just, yeah. I hate playing spoiler, but at the same time, it's like I'll take a win any way that I can, and I just got that little bit of a shove on the back on that restart, and then I was really side by side with Hunter, and I just came out on top for once during the exchanges there. But yeah, just the air was just so bad and track position was everything. So here I am.
And obviously, super sub role here for you. You have not missed a beat in that process. Obviously, good results have come here and there. Filling in the 61 car that has been shared by different drivers this season here. You were the only driver for the team here this week. What has been sort of the mindset approach? I mean, kind of just coming in and just racing largely for fun. Has that just been the approach, is just kind of racing and seeing what you get? Or has there been something more tactical to approaching the race weeks?
Just lick the stamp and send it, really. I mean, I like going out here, having fun with all my friends, but at the end of the day, it's just about ending up in the winner's circle, or if at the very least, having an interview. So top 3 or bust, really.
I mean, it worked out here tonight. Obviously, a very elbows out race for a lot of the field here in Indianapolis, and it took a lot of veteran experience to try to navigate through it. Obviously, a couple times you were in the eye of the storm yourself in that 61 car, and it obviously pans out. I see that you're back to representing the different F1 liveries here, and you didn't waste any time getting the Audi one on your car tonight. That being said, 4 races to go this season. I mean, now it's a race to 20 wins in HTL. It's a barrier no one's gotten to yet, and you're the closest to it. 4 races to go: Kansas, Chicagoland, Miami, and Fontana, tracks that are normally very favorable to you. Is that now sort of the next milestone that you're chasing? You talk about just kind of going for it.
I don't think about any of the milestones. Just because there's always going to be someone else that's going to come along, beat the records. And I mean, Susie, he's probably the best one that's going to reach it before me. But yeah, I just don't, I don't think about any of the records. I already know that if I were to stop racing altogether, I know that even though the statistics don't show it, I've already have like the championship winning speed and consistency and all that. So basically for me anymore, the stats just don't matter. I just want to come out here, have fun, and just, just do what I do best.
Well, what you do best consistently has been find your way to victory lane. You've done it 18 times, 3 times here at the Brickyard here in HTL. A phenomenal job. First win for Valfreya Motorsports in HTL as a whole. And overall, some good vibes here for the 61 camp before these last 4 races of the season. Before we let you go and let you celebrate, relax, and try to stay warm. Obviously, the winter storms hit most of us here on the East Coast. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Again, congratulations on, again, you talk about not tracking the record books. A lot of people do, and you are the benchmark for what success looks like in HTL. So congratulations, the floor is yours.
Yeah, first off, want to thank Blake and Al and everyone involved behind the scenes for actually running the league on the day-to-day, week-to-week basis. You up in the booth for always coming in for the broadcast to put it on for everyone to see. Callie for putting me in the 61 car here. Hell yeah to getting the first win for Valfreya. Hopefully she's watching. The working with the Nitro setup shop and just getting all of the great help from there each week to come out here and put the best foot forward with the cars. And I also want to thank all the fans watching back in Twitch land here. Big shout out to Rivers, Will, Jamie, everyone that may have tuned in tonight. Hopefully you all enjoyed it.
It was a fun race to follow along with here, and obviously fantastic to see the 61 car back in victory lane. Caitlin, obviously always a lot of fun being able to talk to you here after these races. 4 more races left to go in the season. Hopefully we get to talk to you at least a couple more times before the season comes to a close here on March 2nd. But congratulations on the race win. Go and enjoy it, relax, celebrate, and we'll see you again next week in Kansas.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was Caitlin Height, your race winner here for the 3rd time in the Brickyard 400, her 18th overall victory here in the HTL Cup Series. Legendary is how you describe Caitlin Height in her career in HTL, even in part-time. She has done a phenomenal job. That'll do it from us here at the Brickyard. Caitlin Height wins, spoils the party for Hunter Peach and Bryn Roberts. We head to Kansas in 7 days' time. It is Kansas, Chicagoland, Miami, and Fontana with an off week for the Super Bowl in between. We hope to see you then. On behalf of everyone here for ABN, for the HTL Cup Series, for Henderson Design, Southern Cleaning Company, and all of its other partners, I'm Carmen, Sienna. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you in the breadbasket in 7 days. So long, everybody.